Yo, how's it going guys? KPR here bringing you guys another video, and today I'm bringing you guys the second part to the video of the primary weapons, ranking all of them, and I kind of did mess up on them, so it's supposed to be 28 weapons, not 29, my fault y'all. So this is actually number 14, but it actually isn't, because using the GPR again made me realize that the Ames is way better than this, like any other weapon. It's probably like even below the XM4. I'll bring it up a bit to C+, I would say, but it's still below the LMGs in my opinion. But the GPR just so horrible again. I don't know why I honestly thought it was way better than it. Like I remember using it, like I gravitated towards this weapon a lot, and that's probably why it was more me being biased towards this weapon. But dog, oh my gosh, using it again against like some of the sweatier lobbies made me realize how really useless this weapon is. I honestly thought it was really fast. I don't know why I believe that, but nah dog, this weapon is just so horrible to use. I didn't really enjoy using it once more, so GPR knocked that down all the way below the XM4, and the Ames knocked that back up into like low A tier because that's what that had the GPR as. So we're just gonna flip those two. Ames A tier, GPR dog waters, low C tier for sure. Like oh my gosh dude, I honestly don't know why I thought it was way better. Like using it again, going up against the Saug, the Jackal, what other ones, like the Model L and stuff like that, I was just really outgunned in most of those situations. Granted I was lagging a bit, but even then I wouldn't do so horrible with a weapon like this unless I knew I was at a disadvantage, and I was like, bro, why is it getting outgunned? I sometimes shoot first and I land my shots, but I still get murked first. Like it's pretty weird. So this weapon definitely not a go-to. If you like this weapon, like that's good for you, but dog, oh hell no, I don't like this weapon at all. The only really redeeming quality about it is that it has pretty low recoil, but so does the XM4, and the XM4 has a faster fire rate than this weapon, so makes sense why this weapon will be below the XM4. So it'll be at number 23, XM4 22. Sorry about that, my dudes. That was an honest mistake. I honestly thought there were 29 weapons, but let's finally get into number 14. At number 14, we actually have the Jackal PDW. This is a high B tier weapon. This weapon is pretty good. Using it again didn't feel as horrible as I remembered it to be. I know a bunch of people like running this weapon in, like, people say in COD League, but I don't really think that's a good way to approach it from, since there's going to be certain attachments, weapons, and perks not available. Like dog, it's not really fair to compare, especially to public lobbies where anything goes. You can add rapid fire to a weapon, which makes it a bit better, or you can add the CHF barrel that makes a one-shot difference. Of course there will be a bit of skill gap to it, since you're going to have to need to control the recoil that it gives you. Honestly, hopefully no one's mad about it. This weapon being at number 14, I know a bunch of people like using it. I personally don't like using it as much because I've seen other weapons put in way more work than this one at a much easier time, because sometimes you're going to be outgunned in a bunch of the close situations you're going to be in with this gun. The weird part about it though is that it feels like almost every bullet in this weapon specifically is actually registered. Like that's what I noticed when I was playing COD the entire time. When I was using other weapons, I was like, yo, it feels like most of my shots register with this weapon, which I don't know if anyone else feels that way, and that's probably why a bunch of people gravitate towards this one, because they're like, all right, this one, the shots are way more consistent, they're actually registered way more often than any of the other weapons. So I could see why that people may rate this higher than it needs to be. However, due to some other guns outgunning me in close quarter situations, I'm just like, alright, this is high B tier for sure. Low recoil, fast fire rate. What else can you ask for on a good weapon, you know? On to number 13, we have the Tsarkov. This is a semi-automatic marksman rifle. I have always gravitated towards marksman rifles that are semi-automatic like this, and actually have a bit of a skill gap to them. I wouldn't say the skill gap is very high. However, you will be able to instantly murk people if you land your headshots, because with this weapon it's probably one of the only ones that matters of you getting headshots or not. There have been so many instances where I'm put into the sweaty lobbies and then I just pull out the Tsarkov and I'm just landing headshot for days. They're getting really pissed off at me and they start like talking trash to me in the chat. They're like, oh bro, you gotta use a marksman and blah blah blah. Like dog, you have your headset up your ass, you're sound whoring like a motherfucker, and you're blaming me for landing my headshots, dog. Just go somewhere else, bro. Go to COD League if you want to run into marksman rifles. Honestly, if I was a bit better with my aim, I probably would have put this up higher, but since I kind of not been playing this game, my headshots haven't been as consistent, so I have to be honest, this is a pretty high B tier as well. It's pretty fun to use, not too hard to use honestly, and the fire rate is alright. It's not the fastest, but once you land those headshots, consistently landing them, you're going to be basically dominating the entire lobbies. There have been so many instances of me holding point the entire time, and I'm pretty sure I'm just making the enemy's day worse. I feel bad sometimes because I'm just like, bro, these are probably some workers. I'm just over here just dominating the lobby. But then they put me into sweaty lobbies, and I'm just like, you know what? Screw these guys. I'm going to sweat my ass off. Two, I'm just going to be using the Tsarkov, and they're not going to be having a good time either. So it's definitely a high B tier weapon, and if you guys are good with aiming for headshots, I would suggest using this weapon. Moving on to number 12, we have the LR762. This sniper rifle is a bit more reliable than the Frostline because it's able to one-shot almost anywhere in the body, and if you put on the CHF barrel, it will one-shot anywhere in the body, which is pretty useful because it's up to 70 meters, I want to say. So yeah, you're definitely not going to find a map that you're not going to be able to one-shot them anywhere in the body. I prefer taking this sniper if I actually somewhat want a quick scope. I do see people running a lot though the Frostline just because you're able to ADS much faster. However, if they're not actually able to go for the chest and up, you're most likely going to be marking them with the sniper instead. Also, I know they added the new sniper right now, the Morse, something like that, but I haven't had it unlocked yet, and I don't know how high it will be. I know it's actually the same ranges as this sniper, which is actually pretty insane. And it only won't one shot to the foot, so it's like, bro, are you really going to be shooting at the foot on accident most of the times? Like, nah, dog. I'm pretty sure the CHF barrel won't be as useful on there. On this one it does, because it goes from the, I believe, the waist and up now to the whole body. Like, dog, that is just pretty useful. I would suggest running the CHF barrel. This is probably the only time on snipers that it's actually useful. This is a low A tier weapon just because of the ADS time. If it had a bit more faster ADS speed, then this would probably be a good high A tier just because of how useful this sniper is. It's pretty fun to use, and you're not really going to have a difficult time running this sniper at all. On to number 11. This actually would have been probably number 9 or so. However, due to the balance changes they had at the beginning of the season, this just brought the Model L a bit down. It used to do more damage to the head and to the body, but now you actually have to be 4-shotting them most of the time unless you get 2 headshots in order to murk them. Pretty insane though that they're adding a bunch of these nerfs. This gun was generally fun to use when I picked it up at first. It has pretty controllable recoil, and if you want to go for it, you can put on the gunfighter wildcard on and you're going to be able to kit it out, so it practically has no recoil. I usually switch around the compensator and the silencer because I like how this gun sounds silenced. But I also put on a sight most of the time as well, just because the sights can sometimes be bothering. I don't like how obstructive it can be, and it'll just mess with my flow a bit. So yeah, I just put on a sight of it. I actually enjoyed using the Model L before the nerf more than the AK-47. Don't know why, it just felt much more smoother, and I was able to control the recoil much easier. However, then the nerfs came in, and I'm just like, bruh, this plays exactly like the AK. Like, there was actually some damage differences, but now they're exactly the same, and the AK-74 shoots more faster. I think I said 47 accident, my fault, but it shoots faster than the Model L. It's like, dog, is it even a competition at that point? They do the exact same damage, have somewhat controllable recoil, so it just depends which weapon they're using. It's like, if you're using a Model L and they're using an AK-74, you're probably going to get murked if you guys shoot each other at the exact same time, since they shoot faster than you. Moving on to number 10, we have the AK-973. This one I actually bumped it up a bit as well, just because when I ran it back again with this marksman rifle, it felt so much better to use than the Tsarkov, the SWAT, and just both of those, since they're not really able to stand a chance. And not too long ago, before the season update, this was actually the most broken gun in the game. because of rapid fire. Rapid fire literally increased it by 73%, which made it feel like it was fully automatic and you would just be melting people. You would not be able to escape this weapon in whatever sweaty lobby you would be put into. This was probably the weapon they'd be running. However, since it got nerfed and it's not as easy, well, it is pretty easy to use, like no cap, but it's not S tier anymore. So a bunch of the sweaties dropped it for other ones, for SMGs. You can still put in a lot of work with this weapon. The only time you'll probably be murked is when someone runs up with you with an SMG. So the ADS speed is not the worst on it, but it is not as fast as SMG. Of course you can kit it out to be, but you are going to have a bit of recoil. And the only time I have problem controlling recoil is with burst weapons. I was able to do it with the SWAT, however this one seems to be a bit more difficult. Even then though, I'm still able to put in a bunch of work with it. I'll be one of the top people in the lobby, easily get a bunch of kills, holding down points and stuff like that. It's not hard to use at all. So if you think it's trash, it really isn't. You just don't know how to use it right, or if someone tells you that, they just don't know how to use it to its full potential. Moving on to number 9, we have the Krig C. This assault rifle has the same damage values as well as the Model L and the AK-74. This is some bullcrap. I was hoping for it to have some random numbers, like dog, at least the body shot, like do a bit less, but the headshot multiplier do a lot. Like dog, there's not much variety for assault rifles, so the best ones, they're going to have the same damage values. Kind of sucks. I don't really like that about a game, because the weapons can feel like the same. You're just using a different model, or not even model, just a different cosmetic. That's all it is. Same weapon, different cosmetic of it. Dog, that does not feel good at all, and I got bored of the assault rifles insanely fast. I didn't like when I saw the numbers for the Krig C, but I did see a bunch of people running it when it first came out. It could just be said just because, you know, it's the new weapon, everyone wants to be using it, they want to level it up and stuff like that. So it was pretty painful leveling this gun up, just like, bro, I am so bored of using this, I want to use something else. But I had to just go with it and keep using it, and I made up my mind. I was like, all right, this is definitely better than the Model L. Has way less recoil. Like dog, I'm using a silencer, I'm not even using a compensator. That's how low recoil this weapon has. The only thing I have for recoil to help it out is the vertical grip, and it still is like at the 40s I believe for recoil. So yeah, super easily controllable recoil. You won't need to land all headshots in order to make it a 3-shot kill weapon. Kind of sucks, but since this has very low recoil, it shouldn't be too hard to do. That's all there really is to say about the Krig C. Just plays way too much like the Model L and the AK-74, so I got insanely bored of it. There's nothing bad to say about it since it has low recoil, good damage numbers, and yeah, just a good weapon overall. Don't really need to try too much in order to do good with it. Moving on to number 8, we have the AK-74. This one is the better one out of the 3. They all have similar damage numbers. However, the AK-74 shoots faster than both of those. So you're going to be able to murk them if you guys shoot at the same time. You're not going to really have trouble with it. I thought they would have more recoil for the weapon, but it doesn't really feel like it. And either ways, like I said before, if you're having trouble controlling the recoil, you're just going to be able to kit it out so it has 8 attachments. You're just going to be able to dominate the lobby. I like the 74 in most iterations of it. However, this one felt a bit more boring compared to the other ones. Like, it's not a bad gun at all. It's definitely a good A tier. It almost breaks into the high A tier category, but not yet. I was hoping that it would be able to 3-shot to the body, but you're not able to do that. So it doesn't feel like it deserves a high A tier spot. Definitely a middle A tier for sure. There's not much for me to say about this weapon just because the Krig C and the Model L basically play like it, except this one just shoots faster than both of them, and it has controllable recoil as well. So you're still going to be able to put work with it either ways. So don't be deterred just because I don't really have much to say about this weapon. Still a good weapon nonetheless. Moving on to number 7, we have the C9 or the MP5, whatever you guys want to call it. I like this iteration because it reminds me Well, I'm pretty sure the Kuda is supposed to be the futuristic version of it, but I like how it feels like I'm using the Kuda. That was my favorite SMG in BO3, and this is basically an AR in an SMG build though. So you're going to have fast ADS, low recoil, good range, and good damage numbers. Like, dog, is it really bad? Nah, dog, this is a pretty good SMG to run. You can definitely put in a lot of work with it. I used to take extended mags, but I was like, dog, I don't like how long it takes me to reload, so I'm just gonna put on fast mags ×2, I think, or it's ×1 because they only got flip mag and fast mags. I don't like that. Like I mentioned already in the previous video, I hate the fast mags. I don't like how there's no sleight of hand. They really should have had that. It's just really annoying that you're going to take a con if you want to take fast mags. Flip mags for this SMG, it doesn't actually mess with it, but it's only by a few milliseconds. Like, dog, it is not worth it. I might as well either take extended mags or the fast mags at that point. This is also one of the SMGs that's able to contest the sweaties, depending on what weapon they're using, of course. Because if they're using the KOMPAKT, oh hell no, don't get in any close quarter situations. You're screwed if you do. But other than that, you're going to be able to contest them with this SMG. And I actually like running it a lot. However, I didn't get dark matter for it just because I felt like I liked the KOMPAKT more than this one. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is actually where I put the GPR, which I'm surprised I put above the C9. I don't know what I was on, but the Ames is here. I'm pretty sure no one will argue with that. It is a good A tier weapon. And it'll be at number 6. I already talked about it in my previous video, but ignore that. Just think of it as number 6 now. Now we're going to move on to number 5. We have the best sniper. Well, maybe the best sniper still. I don't know. Haven't used it more still. But it will have to be the SVD. I enjoyed using this sniper. It was so easy doing all the camo grinds with it. And even the headshot challenges, dog. I actually almost finished them before I started the grind. I was like, oh shoot, dog, I'm at 79. I was like, if it's gonna be this easy, I might as well do the camo grind, because I hate that I have to get 100 headshots for every weapon, dog. But the SVD actually was the weapon that changed my mind. I got it insanely fast with it. I was like, all right, okay, I'm just gonna do the camo grind now, because it was just a pleasant experience doing the headshot challenges with this weapon. I would be top of the lobby with a bunch of kills. It is not hard at all to use the SVD. And I was surprised that this was a high tier weapon, just because usually these snipers are low tier just because of the high skill ceiling it has. But if you're good at aiming at the upper body, you usually be cracked at using any of the Dragunovs or the SVD, whatever you guys want to call it. So yeah, this one though is just insanely better than the other iterations, and it's pretty easy to use. So if you guys want to have an easy time using a sniper rifle, if you guys like using them, but of course if you don't like the semi-automatic ones, then you're probably not going to be too much into this one, since you're just going to be having an easy time. And you can also quickscope with this sniper. So if you also like quickscoping and don't mind using the semi-automatic ones and get the hang of it, you're going to be dominating the lobbies, because let's be honest, it technically has the fastest time to kill, since you're able to get a one shot with this. Has pretty good ADS speed, so even dudes sliding around corners and doing all those movements won't stand a chance against you once you get the hang of it. Either ways though, this is definitely a good high A tier type of sniper. Now the reason why it's only high A tier is because it's not turn off your brain, do good with it type of A tier. It's one where you at least need to have some part of your brain turned on and actually do good with it. But the last 4, you won't need to have your brain at all in order to pop off with them. At number 4, we have the KOMPAKT. I believe that's all it's called. But I enjoy using this SMG. I love how fast it shoots, because there's not really a huge skill ceiling to it, but there's a bit of it. Because if you're not able to control the recoil fully on this weapon, you're not going to be able to do as well with it. However, if you want to run it just using the hip fire with it, go ahead. You're going to be popping off with it. Anyone in close quarters probably won't be able to murk you at all. Dog, there's been so many instances that there's 3 people rushing me. However, I'm using this SMG and I just murk all of them. They get way too close, but they're just melted. You just see them for a split second and boom, they're already dead. You move on to the next dude, they're dead as well. Dog, you're going to have such an easy time using it. I love this SMG. I gravitated towards this one the most. I saw that I shot the fastest. But what I do hate about it, there's just this little, well, kind of a huge thing, but it's the only thing. It's the effective range on it. Because once you're in the outer effective range, or I don't even know what it's called, the hell I forgot, but it says beyond range, something like that. You're going to need 10 bullets to actually murk them. Granted, you do shoot them out fast, and that's why I run extended mags, like ×3 or ×2. I forgot how big they can have them, but I have it at 60 rounds. Dog, you're gonna be flying through that ammo. You thought the GPMG wasted that ammo? Hell no, this one just flies through them insanely fast. But that's what I like about it. I like fast weapons like this one. Like in BO3, they had the Vesper. After it got nerfed, I enjoyed using it. It took way more skill to use it. And in BO4 as well, they had the Spitfire, the Wildfire Operator. Dog, I ran it and I was able to put in a lot of work with it. And I would have my brain off most of the time using it because I'm just like, bro, no one stands a chance up against me, because I enjoy being really aggressive with my weapons. So I'm going to be up in their face, murking them like nothing. So this SMG, definitely top 4 weapons in the game and a high A tier as well. We're finally at the top 3 weapons, and at number 3 we have the TANTO 22. I did expect this weapon to be overpowered as soon as I saw the damage numbers on it, and it really is. It is insanely difficult to challenge this weapon at times if you're not using the right weapons against it. I saw a bunch of people running this weapon when they were first starting off. They did not leave this weapon at all. If you were getting into sweaty lobbies, they'd usually be running this gun, and they still run it at times. However, there's a much easier one to use than this one that they recently added, which kind of sucks, but the TANTO is still a pretty good weapon to use. If the effective range was a bit higher, I'm pretty sure more people would run it and would actually be using the CHF barrel, because the effective range on it is actually 6 meters, but you're still going to be able to get the 3-shot effective range on it, just because it does 30 damage at its lowest. But I'm 90% sure that the headshot still does over 34. So if you're able to land all headshots beyond that range, you're going to be only needing 3 shots. Like, dog, it's pretty worth it, especially because you're going to have a high ADS speed. And are you really going to be challenging them from far away? Like, this SMG for sure can do it, but I'd rather just get up close to them. And it's not even like you have to be trying when you're using the TANTO. Hell no, you can literally shut off your brain and just put in so much work with it, not even have a struggle against most SMGs. And if you're actually running around the map getting into people's face, I would suggest running the CHF barrel with the iron sights, because it'll actually make it go from 49 damage to 52. Now that is very low, upgrade, but it'll make it a 2-shot headshot weapon instead. It's like, bro, you can land your headshots, take the CHF barrel, run the lobbies like nothing, and you are just going to be having a good time while the enemies are going to be mad as hell, probably talking trash to you. So definitely a high A tier weapon and deserves the number 3 spot. Now at number 2 we actually have the fastest AR in the game, and that is the AS Val. This gun was absolutely broken. Everyone was running it once they reached level 54 or 55. I forgot which one you needed to be. And I also was one of those people. I was like, bro, let me see what all that hype is about. And they were not wrong. This gun is insanely good. It doesn't even have much recoil. I thought it was going to have a bit more, since they weren't the ones that made the 2019 AS Val, but I thought they would learn from their mistakes over there. But they really didn't. This is a pretty good AR to run. And if you get put into the sweaty lobbies and they feel like using assault rifles, they're probably going to go to this one. Just run the lobby, because if there's multiple people using it, you're not really going to stand a chance against it unless you get them in a 1v1. But most of the sweaties don't really go into 1v1 fights. They're usually going to be really coordinated. It feels like you're going up against the COD League pros if they're running this weapon. There's not really anything bad to say about it. The only issue I do have, I guess, is with the mags once more. Like, dog, why did they do this? It's just so horrible. You have to take extended mags with this weapon as well, because you're going to be running through that ammo. I actually tried running fast mags for a bit, but I knew I was going to get screwed over, because I was like, bro, 15 bullets? Oh, hell no, these aren't going to last me at all, dog. I was hoping too that they would add the ammo mods for it, like in order to make it a single action. That's why it was 15 bullets, but it wasn't. Sucks, but it's still a pretty good AR to run, and you could also just turn off your brain and do pretty good with it. This almost broke into the S tier category, but it's still just the damage numbers and the reload time, dog. Oh my gosh, those are the two things holding it back. So I'll hold it at the best AR in the game for me, and a good high A tier. Now, hopefully no one is surprised by this at all, because if you get into sweaty lobbies, this is the #1 weapon you'll be seeing. Hell no, not the XM4, not the Ames, not the AS Val. If you're in actual sweaty lobbies, the #1 weapon is the Saug. Dog, it is so annoying going up against this weapon. No recoil, fast fire rate. It has the second fastest fire rate in the, I don't know about in the game, but for SMGs at least. And dog, it's not even far behind. I believe it's only 100 rounds lower than the KOMPAKT. Dog, and it has better damage values. Dog, you might as well just take this one. I personally love the KOMPAKT, and that's why I take it. But every sweaty will be running the Saug. It is not hard to use at all. And people say, oh, but in COD League they use this SMG. Dog, that's because in COD League this weapon is banned. That is like saying in BO2 that I actually don't know which one. Oh, the A83, something like that. Emit A3 is the most used in there. However, it's because they banned the FAL, and everyone knows that the FAL was the best weapon in that game. There aren't many weapons that can contest this gun, and that is pretty annoying. The only time you will be is in really close quarters with the KOMPAKT, or maybe a shotgun, and even then, shotguns are inconsistent, and if you are able to contest it with an AR, you're lucky, because they probably missed a shot and that screwed them over. I'm sure there's not really anything negative to say about this weapon. Now, the only reason I wasn't really able to put in a bunch of work with it is because my ass was lagging. Dog, you can literally see it there, bro. It was pretty unplayable at times, but I was still able to be #1 in the lobby. So this is how good the weapon is. You can be lagging and still putting in a bunch of work with it. Just turn off your brain and you're still going to be doing good, dog. This weapon, hands down, #1 in the game. Takes absolutely no skill to do good with. So it's like, bro, fast fire rate, low recoil, decent damage. You can't go wrong with this weapon at all. On taking it, you can tell how good it is by how many sweats you use it, and how sometimes it feels you can't really challenge it. And it's because it's that good, my dudes. Like, #1. Hopefully no one disagrees with me, and I believe this is the only S tier weapon in the game. That's all I really gotta say about the weapon. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, my dudes. Let me know down in the comments if you guys would still rearrange my list. I know a bunch of people actually disagreed with some of my takes, but that's fine. Like I said, this is just an opinion. It is always subjective. Your guys' best weapon could be my worst weapon. My best weapon could be your worst weapon as well. So just let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the video. Hopefully the match is going much better for you guys, and you guys aren't experiencing any lag like I am recently, which kind of sucks, but I'm still putting in some work with it, especially in other games. I'll be probably coming out with another video, but I don't know if it'll be on Black Ops 6. It might be on Marvel Rivals, because I've been playing that a lot lately, and I've managed to get up to Plat 2, I believe. But I'll decide like the next day on what type of video it'll be. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video, and please subscribe if you're enjoying the content. With that being said, have a good day and stay safe. Later.